My hair is really frizzy from the rain today, everybody. I'm very sorry about that. I set my phone up so that I can talk whenever I drive. I like to help people with narcissistic abuse. And you always get the rudest people. They're like, oh, you're a narcissist because you're recording when you're driving. I'm like, are you kidding me? Always pay attention to the road. You know, I talk as I drive to help people. I just get so sick of the mean comments online. You try to help others by sharing your story, and you always get mean comments. And it's always an account that have no friends, no profile picture, and they are insecure or something, and that's why they can't even put their real profile or their photo, because you'll hurt their feelings by what you write back to them, so they hide behind troll accounts. I swear it's all the narcissistic people, because they're always the ones when you're making content to help other people that have been abused. They're the ones that leave the mean comments. I broke my guitar string again yesterday. There's something wrong with my acoustic guitar on the one side. Whenever I go to tune it, the knobs like aren't working or something. They're not working right. And then I end up breaking the strings on that side of the guitar all the time. I tried to give where I take my lessons business. They were closed today, so I'm going to Butler. I have to go to Butler anyway and buy birthday stuff for my sons. I wanted to talk a little bit about splitting today. I'm starting to learn about splitting that is done by cluster B people, such as if they have narcissism, borderline, any of those type of conditions. I recently found out, talking to a psychiatrist, just asking some basic questions, I think I've been the victim of a lot of splitting by people with cluster B conditions throughout my life. Have any of you ever experienced it? It's probably the most abuse I've gone through with relatives that have had possibly borderline, I'm finding out. Borderline or narcissism, or exes that have had it. I'll talk about the things that they would do. And please let me know if you think this is splitting, if you had any of these cluster B conditions. I had a relative that was so nice and then would be really mean all of a sudden. Just hateful mean. Flipping out on us. I mean, I imagine that could be mood disorder too, that this relative might have had. And we couldn't understand. They'd be nice, and then all of a sudden, as the years went on, they would be so mean to us. And another person that I was in a relationship with, they do this thing where they get really hateful, and it's either they think somebody is 100% on their side or a traitor. There's no in between. And I went through a lot of that over the years, and it was so abusive trying to deal with that situation where, let's say I had a friend or a family member that did not like who I was in a relationship with. They would say they're controlling or something. They would hate that family member. They would find a way to get that family member or relative out of my life. They would want me to exclude them, to not invite them over. I wasn't allowed to invite them to events. They would try to get rid of the people with secluding me. I don't like to name any specific people because the people I was in relationships with, and there are a few that had different disorders, I don't believe in doing that. I don't like just bashing people if they had anything going on, because they really can't help it. I'm just trying to see if anyone ever dealt with splitting. It's terrible. I think the narcissist I dated did splitting, and it seemed like possibly during devaluation, or maybe towards the end, whenever the relationship was ending, he was just so mean. It's like the part of his brain, like it flipped to that part of his brain where I was the enemy. And it feels like people that do splitting, that have narcissism or borderline, you're the enemy in that moment. And I noticed that they have a really black or white thinking. There's no in between. With the one person I was in a relationship with, I was either 100% on their side, or they considered me or deemed me a traitor, and there was no in between. And it feels like you're walking on eggshells, like they'll threatening to end the relationship, things like that, if I did not 100% give in and back them against somebody. It was terrible. And has anyone else ever dealt with these conditions? I'm learning that this could have been borderline or narcissism, is what psychiatrists are telling me. Whenever I tell them my stories, about what happened, they said, oh, that's splitting, is what they're saying. So has anyone that is watching this ever dealt with those conditions or have them? And if you could leave in comments more about splitting, what exactly happens, because I have been terrified whenever I'm in a situation with the person that's splitting, because they're really mean to you. It's almost like they deem you an enemy, or you're afraid that they'll write you off if you aren't 100% on their side. The one person would even go as far as, let's say, this person I was with would notice that somebody added someone on Facebook that this person didn't like. They would be like, oh, they're a traitor. They added this person on Facebook. And they would hate them, like, even if whoever added the person on Facebook wasn't even friends with them, because there's that way of thinking that you're either a traitor or you're 100% on my side. I have not been allowed to invite relatives over or feel like I had to get rid of friends or relatives when I was in relationships with people like this. And it's hell over the years, dealing with it for a decent amount of years is really hard on you. And I noticed whenever the narcissist was cheating with the new supply, it's almost like once you get knocked off that pedestal, they just start thinking you're no good with their brain or something, and then you seem to be the one that's kind of getting all the abuse. I don't know if anybody else felt that way. I'm trying to think of different topics that not many people talk about, but splitting is really hard. If you're the recipient of whoever you're with that is splitting, it's really hard. And I heard it's normally with disorders like that. Please like, follow, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it.